November 24th. What have you got for us? A month from Christmas Eve. Okay, so how did we finish off the 23rd? Let's get a little reminder. 9:13. Oh, this was a good one for sleep. See that? What a gap. Okay, so November 24th, 4:03, this semi-square to Mercury. So we've got the moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees, right? So it's a little bit adventurous, but of course we are Capricorn. So there's a plan, right? There's a plan for the adventure. And Mercury is retrograding still for another 6 days in Scorpio at 24 degrees. So 24 degrees is the Pisces degree. So there's a little bit of mysticism around this one, right? And 9 degrees, that's the ninth house related to ninth house kind of qualities, Sagittarius qualities, right? Higher learnings, those sorts of things. And so we get this kind of energy of really needing to be a little bit more fucking structured with how we are looking at these things from the past, with how we are understanding these things. This is also kind of an energy, and because it's happening, very close to being within the witching hour for us down here in Melbourne, that could really have some confusing communication coming through in a dream, in a download, something along those lines, right? And then we get this Sun sextile to Pluto. So Sun's just moved into Sag, right? Moved on their 22nd. And it's meeting up here with this Pluto in Aquarius in a sextile. So, like, what is the bonus, right? What is the power of really unleashing that side of you that you kind of hide from everyone? When you're looking at going on this new adventure, why should it be from a place of authenticity? Is the energy of this aspect, right? And the sun in Sag at 1 degrees, coming out of like that dark kind of Scorpio season that we had, it's ready to go on this optimistic journey, right? And Pluto is right there and it wants to go with it. And then we get this like semi-square, a little bit kind of fucking hazy, right? And 11 degrees, that's a Capricorn degrees, an Aries, fucking Mercury retrograde. That's an Aquarius degree, right? 26 degrees on that Lilith, that's a Taurus degree, right? So where you kind of haven't wanted to look at the shame of sort of your weird shit, right? That's kind of coming through here. Now, that could be a little bit hazy because a semi-square is a little bit hazy. It's trying to show you an outworn situation, which is going to have to do with shame around money, around, not wanting to look like a weirdo, especially when it comes to like your primal energies, right? And then the quintile, and then the semi-sextile, and none of those things are offering any sort of proper energy, right? So we get this like weird, maybe this has had to do with my guilt and shame, right? And then this quintile at 12:08, it sort of says, okay, well, maybe it did. But so let's think of it from your perspective. Like, let's lock in from your perspective and let's maybe look at your rule structure over the last 3 years. And especially, since May, right? Like what changed? Did something change at the end of May, April that then has now kind of come back around and has you kind of feeling like you're going backwards? What is that? Is it worth holding on to the program that got you there? Are we letting something go? What do we need to let go of? The 2:13 p.m. semi-sextile, it wants to come in positive, but it is again like a semi-square coming in fucking hazy as shit. And 14 degrees being a Taurus degree, and we are dealing with Mars, Sag, and fucking Capricorn. This is going to be a really stubborn energy, okay? Now, thankfully, we get the sesquiquadrate to Uranus retrograde at 2:26 p.m., which is going to shake up some of that stubbornness because the sesquiquadrate is like, bitch, you have been going around in fucking circles here. You have made obsessive decisions, you have made compulsive decisions. How about just make a fucking decision and let something go and move on, right? So that's helping you see something in a different perspective, and it's going to have to do with stubbornness, with stability, with how you go on this adventure, with things like ego and selfishness. Those sorts of qualities are really going to kind of come into play, right? And then this 2:58 p.m., we get the moon sextiling the node. Now, again, at the Taurus degree, and with Capricorn involved here, this is going to be a really interesting little energy because like the sextile aspect, it's a positive one, right? Like it's like, hey, we can work together here. Like we can work together here. But they don't really get along though, do they? Because the Taurus degree is an earth sign. The Capricorn is an earth sign, right? The rest of it's very flowy, right? Because the nodes are related to the moon, and the north node is kind of a discomfort zone and somewhere where we don't know where we're going. And Pisces doesn't know anything about where it's going. It just feels its way there. It's very intuitive, like the moon. And the sextile is sort of saying, like, you need to make a fucking conscious effort here. Like, you need to make a conscious effort to solve this problem that you are having that is stopping you from being able to see something from a different fucking perspective, right? And then the sun and the moon are going to meet up and be really not that fucking helpful. Okay. So the sun in Sag at 2 degrees is like lighting up a journey of like stability or money or self-worth or Taurus related kind of qualities, right? Second house related kind of qualities. And then the moon at 17 degrees of Capricorn, that's a Leo degree. So like your feelings want to be the biggest thing here. They want to be shining the biggest here, but Capricorn doesn't want feelings. So it's almost like you're kind of putting your foot down and saying like, we're not having feelings about this. But the semi-square aspect is kind of bringing up this outworn situation of not wanting to have feelings because you feel like it's impacting the way that people see your worth, right? Or if people see me as like someone who fucking complains, then like I'm not worth being friends with anyone. I'm not worth having friends, okay? So just be really careful with that aspect. That Sagittarius energy can be a people pleaser, okay? So that's kind of what it wants you to look at there. And then it sort of tells you here in this 8:36 p.m. quintile, like where were you kind of told that like people would judge you for having feelings? Where did that come from? The Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces is saying at some point in the last 15 years, or your ancestors, 160 years worth of them, gave you that mentality. Does that belong to you? Is that worth holding on to? Are you missing out on something by still choosing to believe this nonsense about if I have feelings? So the quincunx to Chiron with Mercury is really wild because 23 degrees is an Aquarius degree, right? So we're talking about like the rebel, we're talking about rebellion, and we're talking about rebelling against kind of ourself and rebelling against kind of what we know. And a quincunx or inconjunct, if that's what you want to call it, doesn't matter, same thing, is really like it's tension that's not going to get you a resolution, but there's tension there anyway, right? And you won't be able to make a fucking clear decision out of this, but the November 25th, mate, you are going to be boom, fucking clarity, moments, shifting, fucking shit going on everywhere. You wait. And so this final aspect is really the Mercury retrograding in Scorpio is sort of saying like, can we sort of make some sense of like where we neglected these parts of us in the past? Can we also make some like join some dots and some lines between like the way we were treated as a child and who we are now and who we allow ourselves to show up and be seen as now? Can we understand that, right? Now, you're not going to be able to be clear of mind on this day. It's very fucking hazy. It's very fucking hazy, okay? The 25th is going to tire the absolute fuck out of everyone. So, okay. Remember, if you are someone who uses my December Aspects Journal and you are not one of my membership witches, you can get that Aspects Journal now. It is on my website, ready to go. If you want to be part of the group therapy, get in fast. Okay, I've had some bookings in the last couple of days, so that's going to run out of places. I would like to have it full, but either way is happy. I'm good with, because it means I get more time on your chart. Okay, so all the details of that are on my website. Anything else, send me a fucking DM or come and book an appointment and let's sort your brain out. Stay weird.